Remembering a loved one. I often remember these things, old times. Our parents, our grandparents, even our grandparents, aunts and uncles, all are loved ones of the family. And I know you have so many favorites too. You miss them so bad, just like I do. And it don't matter if they come from farms, farmhouses, all across these mountains, humble beginnings, or just simple little dwellings like this, of hard times they've had. Hard times our people have seen in these mountains. But you always remember when you see them, they always had a smile on their face. Always glad to see you, no matter when you came. Loved to have company. And you could smell the cornbread through the door, soup beans on the stove. Oh, how you could smell that. And a pan of fried taters. Always seemed like there was always something cooking on the stove. And they always loved to feed you. And it didn't matter what time of year it was, you got together and had a good time, catch up on old times and what's going on with the family. And in the good times, you had picnics, family reunions, church gatherings, and oh, how sweet the precious the times was, the faces that you forgot. And man, could they cook. They wasn't nothing that these women couldn't fix or prepare, and they loved to cook it too. Absolutely loved it. The big meals you'd have, families, get-togethers, so precious as them memories. And you'd sit around in the kitchen with Grandma and listen at her tell her stories. Oh, how sweet. I miss them times. And she was always, seems like, trying to teach the grandkids and the kids how she cooked, how she prepared stuff. But they didn't pay much attention at that age. And oh, they could just sit and love to work and piddle with their hands, either be sewing or preparing something for canning. They loved it. And they loved to tell them stories. And they could get your attention so easily and hold it for hours at a time, the stories they could tell. And you loved it. And sitting on your grandpa's knee, just listening to him tell stories, how things was, and late in the evening, sit on the porch and just love to hear nature and let him tell his stories. Oh, how precious the times. Late in the evening, you might even build a little fire, and your uncles and grandparents would get together and tell these little stories. They were so precious to hear, so precious. And how you'd get with your uncles, and they would teach you everything they know. You was just new to everything. But it didn't take you long. They taught you how to survive out in the outdoors, how to build a fire, how to cook, how to gather wood, just about how to camp out, everything. And oh, they could tell you how to fish too, what to fish for, what to fish with, how to catch them, when to catch them. And all them was just so precious a memory, so exciting for a boy. And when you was big as knee-high as a grasshopper, you was learning to hunt, how to use a shotgun, how to hunt, how to put meat on the table. That was part of the way it was in these mountains. And you can remember our elders, grandpa and uncles, showing you how to fix stuff, but you didn't pay much attention at the time. But you'd hear them tell their stories of how hard they had it when they was a child, and the hard times of the Depression in these mountains. But they made it, and they love to tell them stories. And they teach you the wisdom of the ways of how to treat people, how to respect each other, how to trust people, and who not to trust, and how to treat someone. And you learn from that. These people lived hard, and they shared our ancestry too down through there, through the years. All their memories. A lot of these people I'd never met. And they could tell so many stories of these mountains, hard times and good times. Now, these women of the mountains, these were not just ordinary women. These were pioneer women. They were hard women. They know how to take care of a family. And yes, they lived hard too in these mountains. They didn't have no modern conveniences, bless their hearts, but they made it. And all the babies they've lost in these mountains, I know that broke their heart. That broke their heart, the babies they lost in these mountains. But they could cook anything. If you could bring it home, they could prepare it and fix it. It tastes good. And Mama was telling you wisdom, how to do things. And I know they had hard times. They could tell you, but they would never complain a bit about it, as hard as it was. But they knowed how to feed these babies. Whatever it took, they would feed the grandkids and the kids. They knowed how to make it work. And they would do without, just so their kids would have something on their back. I've heard them stories so many times, and it's so true. And they learned to cook from their grandparents and their parents, especially when they first young age getting married themselves, starting their own family. And Grandma tried to teach all of her wisdom of how to sew, make quilts, how to just to be a woman in these mountains. And one thing about it, these were God-fearing people. They believed in the Bible, and they believed in the good Lord. They was always reading or going to church. I always shared it too. And every chance they could, I can remember when I was growing up, they'd tell us little Bible stories. Stories out of the Bible. Precious memories. And they didn't have much at all, nothing at all. But they loved you, and you know it. So they cared for you the best they could, and you know they would. But that time comes, you get older, you see them start leaving us, and there's nothing you could do. That's the sad time. I hated to see that so bad, our elders leaving us, and they're still leaving us today. But it's God's promise, if you know the Lord, you will be reunited with Him one day. That's His promise. And I'm so looking forward to it. So, cherish your elders. They're all but gone. Bless them, love them, show them your appreciation. So I want to thank you for watching these little heartwarming stories. God bless, and I'll see you next time.